Danni has the breakthrough that we all been waiting to see her receive. Andi continues to be insufferable. And Zack has also, in a way, figured it out and is moving differently. What's good, y'all? She It's Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this one, we are breaking down Season 8, Episode number 14. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my Sistas content and conversations. And I am very, very excited to do this breakdown. If you missed it, our Sistas Keeper was back live again last night. It is the live Tyler Perry Sistas After Show hosted by myself with the good sis Allie Nick, where we unpack the episode 30 minutes after a new episode premieres. Talk it up with you all, get your reactions, and really, like I said, unpack and dig into the episode. While we had a wonderful episode of that podcast last night, I'm really excited to dive into this breakdown on a solo tip and bring these breakdowns back to y'all because they really did give us a decent episode last night, plenty for us to dive into. Now, first and foremost, while I am kind of singing the praises of last night's episode of episode 14, I do want to honor and create space for the very real truth of they literally gave us a bunch of here damn. And I'm not taking it as offensive as here damn can kind of come off, but to Allie's point, and again, I will link our Sistas Keeper, the episode from last night, as well as the playlist, so that you guys can check that out if you want to as well. But Allie made a very, very valid point about how so many characters arrived at places that we never got to see them go on a journey to even venture to. And for me, I think I am just so excited to see something different, to see something new, to see some growth, that I am just kind of being like, okay, whatever, for us never being able to see how they got there or them taking us on a journey, a storyteller's journey, to really integrate us into it. But that is a very real thing. So while they have given us some really great writing elements in the episode from last night's episode, they definitely dropped the ball in taking us on a journey with these characters. And right now it does feel like some of the things that we get to see, especially with the progression and the evolution of certain characters, it just kind of happened, which kind of leaves you as an audience member to not fully be able to trust it. When you don't go on a journey with a character, when you can't see how they arrived at point Z, even if you don't see every single letter along the way, we didn't get to see much of any, then it kind of makes you feel like they're not going to stay there, or this could just be a little bit of fanfare or fan service, which would suck. Now, I hope that the revelation that we get to see Danni have in this episode sticks. I hope that the compassion, the empathy, and the listener of himself and Zack sticks. I hope that watching Fatima do different tactics with Hayden and creating more levels within their engagement sticks. I hope that Robin sticks around and we find some new ways for Andi to go about her damn day, but who knows? So just keep that in mind. They definitely dropped the ball in bringing us along on a journey, but we're here now. So I'm going to start first and foremost with one of my favorite parts of the episode, which was the conversation between Zack and Danni. And basically Karen sends Zack over to check on Danni, letting him know that, you know, she's not okay. Like, she had an incident yesterday. And while she's staying at home, he can very much so go and check on her, which I think did two things. One, it reaffirmed the relationship that Zack has with Danni, because they have been neglecting it as writers, acting like that girl didn't exist, leaving us to assume that Zack feels like that girl didn't exist, which only furthered the narrative of Zack being a selfish piece of and elitist, classist, now that he done got a little bit of money. Like the way that we have watched him treat Danni when she came over to the duplex, and when we have seen them engage with one another, it was really frustrating to see, because Danni, for all intents and purposes, has been the one woman who was not allowing Zack to stick parts of him into parts of her, but she still wrote for him. And she honestly is the closest thing that he would have to some type of redemption, outside of he's like using his sexual wiles to get ahead and to benefit off of women in life, if he could literally show up and be a friend to her. And now we finally see it. And it's crazy because I have been asking for that for like at least 3 seasons, especially as Zack evolved within his relationship with Fatima. I thought that they would have utilized Danni more on a friend level as he was navigating that relationship, because Danni could have been the eyes and ears to all of Zack's inadequacies, all of Zack's areas of opportunity, all of the ways in which Zack is not showing up in this relationship in a way that Fatima actually needs. Danni could be the person to point those things out and to help him get there. But instead, they allowed Zack to abandon Danni, and they allow Zack to run amok. And now we have this sorry sack of a relationship in Fatima. And yes, I said it, where Fatima has to bring home the bacon because her man don't have no job. His main goal is to play Scooby-Doo and look good. And she got to run around clean up all his damn fires and all his messes from all the drama in his life. I actually hate it. But we're here now. Zack shows up and they have a conversation. He reaffirms to her that, yo, the therapy is working and I can see it. And honestly, it was just so prevalent in the dialogue that he was having with her in that moment alone. Danni feels way more grounded, much more calm. And it's not until you get to see this version of her that you can think back and be like, yo, there's anxiety steeped in all of her little quick quips and all of her little witty banter and all of her taking jabs at her friends. Like, there is an anxious energy there, which I think aligns to the performance that she's feel like she's been having to put on. It was very profound. Well, so many parts of her dialogue was very profound in how she talked about leaning into her sexuality and sexual desires and going there with men because she had experienced so much abuse. And now that she's in therapy, she's been able to really unpack and think about, like, am I doing that because I actually want to have sex with these men? Or am I doing that as a defense mechanism where I give men what they want immediately, initially, that way that they don't have a reason to try to take it from me and harm me? What? Profound. That to me was just so beautifully introspective and just right on par with where I have been wanting the Daniella character to go for so long. And you guys can go back through my videos over the course of various seasons. I want to say at least the last 4 or 5 seasons, I have been growing in frustrations with Danni because we get to see a character who is just so arrogant in her ignorance and making smart ass remarks and just being insensitive to her friends and not taking good care of herself, but never taking the time to figure out why she operates the way that she does, why she thinks the way that she does, why she speaks the way that she does. And in this one moment, we get to see that has been percolating, I guess, in the background for her, and that's where she arrived to. And when she thought about the incident, now going to her conversation with Tony, and she actually apologized to him. Ooh, we were just up. When it comes to Daniella Evolved content last night, we were up, baby. She was on it and I loved it. But she apologized to him, saying that, you know, she was triggered because she couldn't figure out if she actually wanted to have sex or if she was doing it because she was supposed to. And on a surface level, it sounds like, what, girl? What you mean you supposed to? But this speaks volumes to the mask that women not only create, but feel forced to wear, to be the doting girlfriend, to be the good friend, to be the whatever you think you supposed to be. And I could totally understand now that we have the reason why, or her unpacking why, how she got to the place of this panic attack, because while her natural inclination was to go to something sexual, she also for the first time had like made dinner and created this moment where there was no other substance involved, no vape, no weed, no alcohol. And like she's truly sitting and enjoying the company of her significant other. He's enjoying her. And this is very new, uncharted territory for Daniella King, and it could feel weird, but it could feel good. And then when you're called to do what you have known, which is to give of your body, but then that feels like in direct conflict with this natural, organic, beautiful moment that you have created, I could totally see how her body had this visceral reaction and a panic attack ensued, because she was going to default back to what she had known, but she also was in the process of pushing herself outside of that comfort zone, outside of those trauma responses, those defense responses. And then also she's confronted with the idea of, is she actually safe with Tony? Which I think could be something that comes up later in conversation, maybe when she speaks with her girls or she goes further and talks with Sabrina. But like that could have been a very real thing too, of like for the first time she might have been questioning, am I safe with him? I think I'm safe with him. What does that mean? And then panicking because she has never felt safe with the man. Yes, y'all. Like, this is what I have been wanting from the Daniella character. Nobody has needed her to be perfect, but we need to understand. We need to watch her process her mess and not necessarily beat herself up about her mess constantly, but know that you in some mess, girl. Know that you are a hot ass mess and you gonna try to do your best and you gonna be accountable to it. So watching her apologize, watching her be truly grateful to Sabrina for Sabrina showing up for her the way that she has, because she be shitting on Sabrina every chance that she gets. And Sabrina is a really, really great friend to Daniella. Like, everything about Daniella's scenes, her dialogue worked for me last night. And I'm just like, finally. Now, Zack gets a couple of kudos again because in his conversation with Daniella, he did make it about him. And I know we talked about this on Our Sister's Keeper about how some people wanted him to talk about his particular walk in therapy, which I'm glad that he didn't, because he doesn't have a walk in therapy. Therapy is a talking point for him, but I do not believe that Zack is actually consistently in therapy. The way that he has such a visceral response to his therapist, even like when his therapist showed up and tried to talk him down when he was hunting for Jeremiah over on Zatima, he's not even comfortable with his therapist yet. Daniella is comfortable with Carisha. She was still messing up and being rude and being trifling while seeing Carisha. So that, to me, let me know, but she was still comfortable with Carisha. That let me know that she's actually in therapy. You not finding a safe space yet with this man tells me that you don't see him often. You don't talk to him often. And yeah, you might respect him kinda, sorta, maybe, on a good day. Zachary Taylor, please. Zack spending that conversation with Danny, focusing on Danny, affirming Danny, and not centering himself. I'm like, yes, this is part of what I want for Zachary Taylor's character, because he could be a great man, because he ain't yet. He could be a dope ass partner, because he ain't yet. He could be a phenomenal father, because he ain't yet. And part of that comes with actually being those things is the decentering of yourself and not making everything about you, and being able to open up time, space, and energy for other people to lean on you, to talk to you, to engage with you, and you to pour into them. Because again, it is not all about Zachary Taylor, and we are not all here to fix his problems and to pour into him and to affirm his ass. There's other people living. Yeah, thanks. I'm just going to talk about Andi because Andi pisses me off and I want to get over it. She's annoying. Cute as hell, but annoying. I want to understand Andi's issues with Robin, but you getting on your damn high horse, riding down to the damn precinct, trying to preemptively, I guess, get there before Robin gets there because Zack and Fatima convinced you that he's the one who stabbed Gary is stupid. And you look stupid doing it. So many people pointed out the fact that Andi seems jealous, whether it is of Robin and him actually lawyering, or even Penelope. And it's like, girl, get a different stick. Like, you actually don't hate Robin. So you cosplaying like you hate Robin and trying to scapegoat him for all the problems in your damn life when quiet is kept. A lot of this is your fault. You continue to date Gary knowing that his ass was married. You continue to date Gary and get engaged when you knew his ass was crazy. You continue to run back to that man in this stupid ass toxic cycle because you enjoyed, I guess, the penis and all of the monetary perks that came along with it. Girl. So now to blame Robin for all your damn woes and to easily just believe Zack and Fatima about this bullshit about him stabbing Gary, all so that you can further lean into your confirmation bias and find some place to place blame because you don't want to actually take any type of accountability to your part in your current circumstances is wild. Completely wild. And it doesn't matter how cute your ass look, you still look stupid on screen, and I hate it for us. Now, somebody who don't look stupid. Yes, I know that y'all have been every week I get hundreds of comments about whether it's comments or DMs about how Karen is still pregnant. But baby, when I tell you pregnancy looks so good on my girl, pregnancy looks so good on her. So once this baby is delivered, I'm actually gonna miss this version of Karen. The little nightgown with the little robe, with the little call, like Zack called to check on her. I mean, he had to ask his Wharton, his mammy, if he could do that, but he called to check on her. He thought of that, and it's like, okay, I'm giving Zack credit in this episode. I'm not putting my foot on his neck too much. But Quiet as Kept, I feel like you're only doing that because you're seeing Aaron being present and now you feeling the way and you're a little bit jealous, which again makes everything about you. Check on her because you really want to check on her, not because you feel like the babies ain't going to know you and Aaron is going to be a better father than you. That's going to happen regardless. You're going to have to get over it. Start now. Anyway, Karen looked amazing. She's the one who got Zack to call Danny. We don't get to see much of her in this episode. So at the beginning, you know, she receives a call from Zack and receives what he's trying to give, and lets him know like, yo, y'all can't be going back and forth and fighting constantly every time y'all see each other, period. And then at the end of the episode, she receives Fatima, who pops up unannounced. Yeah, let's see y'all in them Twitter streets hollering about Fatima popping up unannounced, because it's fine when she brings her ass over there to the apartment, but when Karen comes over to the duplex, now all hell breaking loose. Oh, okay. Now, I'm going to talk about that more in my preview video because I think that Fatima's there to talk about their pregnancy. Okay, girl, this could have been a phone call. The same way that you told Karen what? All of that could have been a phone call? Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Vibes with Karen. I can't wait to see more with Karen and Aaron. I got a couple of videos talking about them because baby, last episode gave what needed to be gave when it came to them too. Love it down. Sabrina and Rich go to the doctors and we find out that Rich, his sperm sample cannot be used because he has the sickle cell trait. And when I tell y'all, I was so caught off guard. I was so surprised, but so proud of these writers for making this particular story choice. It's brilliant. It is not trite. It's not stereotypical. Oh, his soldiers ain't marching. No, it is deeper than that. And it's something that can be, uniquely exponentially harmful within the Black community. Like, we do not talk about sickle cell enough. And for that to be the thing, I think that they are setting themselves up for just beautiful places that they can go and dive in deeper into that. And then the conflict that it's going to create with him not being able to father her kids. Now, there is a conversation to be had about they could just do it the natural way because people have kids all the time and be having sickle cell trait. But I think that it's just a policy for the fertility clinic to not actually facilitate embryos being created from specific donors who have certain genetic markers and genetic disease, basically. Any genes that are tied to certain diseases, which makes sense. And again, I cannot wait to watch how they have this story unfold because I think that it's nuanced. I think that it's specific to the Black community. And I think it's something that we don't think about, but we need to think and talk more about. So I'm excited to see them do that with the Rich and Sabrina character. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Rich still, but now I empathize just a tad bit. And I want him on the screen just so that this story can be told. Now, y'all, that's pretty much all I got. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section down below. The Our Sisters Keeper episode is also linked. So there's an hour and a half of us discussing further. But if I did miss something, let me know in the comment section and we can go ahead and keep the conversation going. It's your good sis you love to talk TV with. And I'm seeing you in the next one.